January 2018, Afghanistan. The people in Afghanistan are sleeping with a fear that they would come. No warning, no chance to run. Just the low hum of a helicopter and the blinding light of a door kicked open. For most of the world, the war in Afghanistan was something seen on screens: convoys, explosions, soldiers in desert camouflage. But for the people who lived here, war meant something different. It meant night raids. By 2009, the war had been ongoing for a decade, and it had become something the generals didn't fully understand anymore. The Taliban weren't standing armies, they were shadows, blending into the same villages that NATO troops were trying to protect. Every farmer could be an informant, every child might be a lookout. America's traditional military power, tanks, airstrikes, and large-scale wars, wasn't designed for ghosts. The US military needed a new way to fight, one that was fast, precise, and invisible. And so, a new idea took hold. If you can't fight the enemy in daylight, you find him in the dark. Night raids weren't new, but under McChrystal's Joint Special Operations Command, they became the central weapon of America's counterattack strategy. Intelligence would identify insurgents. Special operations forces would strike at night, capture, interrogate, eliminate. It was the perfect war on paper: fast, efficient, invisible. The soldiers who carried out these missions called themselves the Quiet Professionals, Green Berets, Navy SEALs, Delta Force, elite teams who operated in absolute secrecy. In Langley, Virginia, half a world away from the dust and darkness, a man walks into the CIA headquarters. He moves down the hall until he reaches a door. On the door, it says, Night Ops, Afghanistan. Inside, rows of monitors glowed in cold blue light. Each dot on the map was a village, a name, a life. Here, men and women pieced together fragments of intelligence: drone feeds, intercepted calls, satellite images. They called it targeting. From these quiet rooms, orders flowed out. Every raid began here, not with gunfire, but with a click. A click that was sent to the night agents. Missions would begin hours after sunset. They'd fly low, blacked out, sometimes less than 50 feet above the ground. Within minutes, they'd surround a target compound. Flashbangs, doors kicked in, shouting. Everyone inside was forced to the ground, men zip-tied, women crying, children screaming. Then, a search for weapons, phones, or documents. Anything that could justify the raid. Every night, dozens of these missions unfolded across Afghanistan. A name on a list, a GPS coordinate, life or death, decided by intelligence. But in the fog of war, mistakes happen. Families woke to gunfire, flashbangs, and shouting in languages they didn't understand. And in the morning, the villagers would bury their dead without knowing why. To the soldiers, it was just another mission. To the people below, it was terror from the sky. These raids were meant to win the war by dismantling the Taliban's network, but they often did the opposite, fueling anger, fear, and resentment. One American officer later said, "Every time we killed the wrong man, we created 10 new enemies." Intelligence was unreliable. It often came from locals, paid informants, rival tribes, or desperate men seeking revenge. In a war where everyone had enemies, the Americans became the most powerful weapon you could aim at your neighbor. Even the Afghan president, America's own ally, demanded an end to the raids. He said, "These operations are against our national sovereignty." But they didn't stop, because for Washington, the numbers still made sense. Hundreds of Taliban commanders captured or killed. The data looked good, even if the ground reality was crumbling. And when mistakes were made, apologies came too late. A single false tip could destroy an entire family. The night raids were supposed to break the insurgency, but instead, they often deepened it. Each mistaken raid became a recruitment tool for the Taliban. Every civilian death, a new reason to fight. US soldiers began to see it too. They'd detain the same man they'd caught months before.
Because of my brother's wedding party, and you killed him. You killed my parents, my cousins, but you missed me. And that was your mistake. But I will fight you now until my last breath.
Released, angry, radicalized. The cycle was endless. We were trying to save a country that didn't want us there anymore. Another? It wasn't war anymore. It was maintenance. When the US finally withdrew in 2021, the Taliban took back the same cities that night raids were meant to protect. In the age of technology, the night raid became the perfect metaphor. Clean, efficient, anonymous. But war has never been clean. Not in the daylight, and not in the dark. The war in Afghanistan lasted 20 years. It cost over 170,000 lives. But for many, the war wasn't fought in battles or on front lines. It was fought one night at a time, in the homes of people who never saw it coming. Maybe that's what modern warfare is, a story told in the dark, where everyone thinks they're the hero, and when the lights come on, nobody wins.